Hello, everyone. I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. Coming up, we're going to talk about our weather. The rain has started in the Fargo area. And looking at models from last night, it's arrived a little bit earlier than anticipated, but not that much earlier, about a couple of hours. And it's raining heavily. The latest in your forecast is coming up right now. Hey, please keep my friends at Robert Gibbons Sons in mind. If you have heating, cooling, plumbing, or electrical needs at the home or the office, well, Robert Gibbons Sons has been providing quality service for over 100 years to the area. Give them a call and let them know Hutch sent you. All right, let's take a look at what we have going on with regards to our weather right now, because this is really changing fairly rapidly heading into the evening hours. And a look at temperatures showing the bitter cold taking place. Billings is freezing. Mountains near Gillette, Wyoming, near freezing as well, or at freezing at this particular hour. It's 43 degrees up there at Glasgow, Montana. 48 still in Fargo after we hit a 50 burger today with temperatures in those 50s. Still 50s in Mason City, Iowa. Look at this out in Des Moines. It's 61 degrees, 46 in Minneapolis and St. Paul. Here is a look at that latest radar. The rain showers are moving up. But first, let's take a look at some of the rainfall amounts that have fallen in the area from the showers pushing up from the south. Already in a fairly short time, we're seeing some lofty totals. Here they are. Taking a look at my friends from the North Dakota Agricultural Weather Network. Not anything going on where you see the white colors. However, down here in southeast North Dakota and parts of west central Minnesota, we're already getting some lofty totals. Over 1/2 of an inch in Wilkin County, 41/100ths out there on the eastern edge of Wilkin County. Nearly a 1/4 of an inch already in Underwood and out towards Fergus Falls, with a 1/4 of an inch there in central Richland County, and already in the FM area, tagging about 17/100ths of an inch of rain so far. And it's going to continue to work its way northward tonight. A solid inch of rain is likely for many areas across the eastern third of North Dakota and western Minnesota as we go through the overnight hours. And the rainfall forecast, let's get to that first, looks like this. As we go all the way through the day on Thursday, when we melt the snow that we'll get later when this system turns over to some snow and the rain we're getting tonight, many of us stand a good chance at 1/2 of an inch of rain to 2 inches of rain in eastern North Dakota and parts of western Minnesota. A little bit of a lull in the system there. In the arrowhead of Minnesota and southern Minnesota, seeing lofty rainfall totals as well. Could be some enhanced totals in and around northwestern North Dakota as well. But we're not talking nearly as much, 1/4 to 1/2 of an inch, and that area hit with significant drought as well. Now, let's take a look at our radar, shall we? As we head into the evening hours, we do have some very heavy rain that's starting to work its way in. Let me see. My radar display software here is taking a little bit of maybe a much-needed break. I don't know. Let's go ahead and take a look at it anyways, and we'll try to load up the single-site radar data here in the Fargo area. So as we take a look, okay, there it is. Here's the Fargo radar from Mayville, North Dakota. We do have a heavier band of showers that's pushing up into Jamestown right now. Valley City starting to see some of this activity, as well as Detroit Lakes and the Waban area. So it's really starting to focus its area right here in the eastern third of North Dakota. But when we look at the bigger picture, here it goes. Now it's waking up. It was off to lunch there. Watertown, fitting its name with heavier showers there. Southern parts of Minnesota down here near Worthington, all the way up to St. Cloud, seeing very heavy rain that's being fairly persistent there. And it's been raining in southern Minnesota for hours. When we take a look at rainfall estimates, let's see if this one wants to work here heading into the evening. I've been working the computer pretty hard tonight. Check these rainfall estimates out. Now, where you see the purple colors here in the southern part of the state of Minnesota, those are more lofty totals. So near Mankato, already 0.8 of an inch or 3/4 of an inch in that general vicinity. So we get into these darker colors, we're really kissing an inch of rain already, and things just getting started for these areas. So we look down towards Brookings, South Dakota, upwards of 1/2 of an inch there. Now, getting up into our area, things just getting started with the wet rain, not the white variety, and we're talking, as we showed you measurements in rain gauges, between 1/3 and 1/2 of an inch already, just a little bit over it in parts of Wilkin County. So definitely some beneficial moisture heading into the area. Okay, let's take a look at the very latest on the forecast as far as the hour-by-hour details with this puppy here. Now, we already talked about the fact it would be wet rain here The cold north winds on the backside of the system way over here will be pulling in northeast Montana already with some snow showers, and that is taking place out there. And in fact, when we go ahead and take a look at Montana, unbelievable snowfall totals out in the western reaches of Montana have fallen today, between 3 and 9 inches of snow near West Yellowstone. So that system is definitely getting started out there while we're on the wet side of it. Okay, let's take a look at this forecast then as we head into the evening hours. If you do have a question, please drop it in. Scott says it's raining in Beach right now. Much needed rain right there along the international border, or not international border. Montana is still a part of the United States, so we'll just go ahead and call that the state border. Sorry about that, Montana. All right, Thief River Falls getting much? Not until later, Leora. It does look like that, and here's the forecast. Let's get into that. I'm going to go back to a model run that'll take us well into the day tomorrow. Now, this is a high-resolution model, starting to pick up on some of the details that we need to watch for with regard to this system. I'll try to get my body out of the shape, or out of the way of this system as it works its way northward here. Now we're approaching morning. Notice that by daybreak, if you are in Bemidji, if you are in Thief River Falls, if you are in Jamestown or the Devil's Lake Basin, the rain showers arrive between 2 and 4 a.m. Stepping in time, look at this low pressure center. So it is strengthening as it moves northward, which means our winds are going to be really rocking as well. Now, as we get into daybreak time frame, just before the sun rises here at 6 a.m., we're going to see things cold enough for snow out in western North Dakota. It starts there first, so you will be able to pick up a little bit more in the central part of North Dakota. Here's why. The winds on the backside of the system, think of a counterclockwise spin going on here. So we have winds coming out of the north. That's cold air diving in behind the system. Cold enough for snow out west, and decreasing temperatures here the longer the wind comes out of the north. So continuing this forecast now into your mid-morning hours when you're heading to work. Bands of moderate to heavy rain continuing. So we're talking about many areas in the valley, western parts of Minnesota, and eastern North Dakota having it rain all night long. Very soggy conditions. And then on top of that, temperatures falling as we go through the day. So steady to slowly falling temperatures, the snow as we go towards noon. This is noon. And on your lunch break, if you take your picnic basket out there in places like Devil's Lake, Michigan City, maybe even Lankin and Park River, a chance for your picnic to get snowed on out there, because the wind will be pulling that cold air out and it gets to you first before the Southern Valley. Now, the Southern Valley here, as we look in on the I-94 corridor near Fargo right here and out towards Jamestown, the system starts lifting to the north of us, taking the best snowmaking part of this system north of us. So we're going to shut things down here in the Southern Valley as we get toward the mid part of your Tuesday, but we're not done yet, because this system is going to cause some of that moisture, not all of it, to wrap around. Now, as we head into day 2 of this storm system on Wednesday, that's when the cold air, you can see these blue lines here, that is the cold nose of air punching its way right into Minnesota. And that cold air is going to cause a wraparound effect. Now, this will be light snow for most of us, but look at the redonky-donk winds. I think these would be very clearly areas seeing in parts of North Dakota over 45 miles per hour with this system. Because if the isobars get this tight, that's just raucous winds. Where the isobars are the closest together, gusts could hit 50 miles per hour in some places. You combine that with falling snow and moderate at times, where we see the darker blue colors here, that is going to really bring in the flakes a flying horizontally, snow a blowing. And think of this, 1 inch to 2 inches of rain with some wet snow on top of it, and then the temperatures drop. Someone asks, Hutch, are we going to see freezing rain? I'll tell you what, I'm not seeing a lot of freezing rain. I'll get to your Marion question about Bismarck snow here momentarily. Great question. Oh, your YouTube stream is not working. Thank you much. I'll go ahead and try to, make sure that it is. Let's see. It should be. Oh, I know why. Okay. That is the other one. I did not start that up, and I will get to that in a minute. But thank you very much for letting me know that. Watching from Grafton, Kathy says, see, your two-way communication helps me out very much. Appreciate that. It should be streaming live right now on the website too. Not to get too far from this. This is the evening hours as we approach 10 o'clock on your Tuesday. It says Wednesday, but it's subtracting 6 hours. It's Tuesday night at 10 o'clock. So the snow really just gets started, or the chances thereof, in Fargo and in parts of southeast North Dakota in the late night hours. That's going to lower our snowfall potential, but watch what happens as we go through the day. We have what's called a little bit of an inverted trough axis right here, where there's a kink in these isobars here. You see that? And that is an area where we can get enhanced snowfall. So if it sets up this way, and the models have been advertising this, even the larger scale models, for a couple of days, then some areas in the Southern Valley, and I do believe here as we hit the edge of Lake Agassiz, out there near Hawley and out there near the Fertile area, you're going up into that area. That's a little bit of rise in the terrain. That could eke out a little bit more snowfall potential. And look at this, the wind and the snow is just ridiculous. So some of the worst conditions, there will already be lofty snowfall totals up in the northern part of the valley as you go into your Tuesday night. And we're going to add insult to injury because this system's going to come back and whack right out of the north, and the winds will be ridiculous all night long. Good thing it's at night, but if you did have travel plans on Highway 2, I think that's where Hutch sees some of the worst of the conditions. We're going to have unfun conditions in the overnight hours here in the Southern Valley as well, with some accumulating snow, highly likely. Notice a sharp cutoff into central Minnesota. If you're in Park Rapids, Wadena, if you're in the Brainerd Lakes area, or out near the folks out there in Alexandria, St. Cloud, and all the way up into International Falls, this system parks, and you're in the shutdown zone here. Drier air getting sucked in, but it's not just that. The colder air coming in and undercutting it, just not going to allow the snow to make its way too much into central Minnesota. Now, the low pressure system, which is moving north tonight, it does an about face and says, if you haven't had enough, we're going to march right back down through your area. And this is what's going to carry this snowfall potential right into the southern reaches of the Great Lakes. Snow lasting into the nighttime hours on Wednesday and then exiting as we head into Thursday. So that is a look at the latest with regards to that. We're going to take a quick peek at this latest forecast model run snowfall potential here. Please keep in mind that the second day into Wednesday is when the, I guess our confidence in this is a little bit lower because of that. Now, there's a couple of things that will be in play here. Will we get dried off and most of the rain and snow just basically stay up north? That happens sometimes with these. That's a possibility. But I do think that wraparound snow will have colder air, and the colder air will make fluffier flakes. And the fluffier flakes, this is not going to be a heavy, wet snow once we get into Wednesday, simply because even though the ground is warm, there's going to be quite a bit of cold air punching its way in. So this is a look at this model. Now, one item of note that's kind of fun here. When we get into these smaller scale models, remember the last couple of days I've been cautioning folks that use the global models. They cannot show the fine details. See these fine little lines here of heavier snow that wraps around this system as we go into central Minnesota on Wednesday throughout the day? Well, Pedro's excited about this. He says this is a great thing for central Minnesota because they need the moisture too, but the thing is they get it as rain. Look at the elevated or enhanced snowfall totals here. So this evening's model run is showing an increase in snow potential here in west central Minnesota, including near Fargo, and it is showing an increase in potential for snow in the Sisseton Hills area. And look at these totals here. So my forecast that I had out there stands. I do not think we're going to have 7 inches of snow in Fargo, but we could have a few areas that get upwards of 5 inches is what my thought is on this. I do think the Sisseton Hills will squeeze out some isolated areas of even more. And in the forecast, and I'll put the forecast graphic up here now so that we can talk about the same thing. Okay, let me pull that up here. My apologies. Thank you very much. Okay, so here we go. I actually put some numbers on this earlier, and I'm going to stick with this forecast for now, but I may adjust this in the morning depending on how this wraparound snow is looking with the models and actually what's going on with the moisture coming into the system as we go into the day tomorrow. We may need to adjust the forecast a little bit, but I will say this. Here is a look at what I am seeing with regards to snowfall. Okay. So This was from the models earlier, and this is the American model, but I put some Hutch text on here. Don't pay too much attention to these. It looks very much similar to the model I just showed you, doesn't it? It has the enhanced band of snow into west central parts of Minnesota and northwest Minnesota. A sharp cutoff here. Snowfall amounts I've got at 2 to 6 inches in and around the northern Red River Valley. I should put a plus sign after that because I think a few of you will have a chance at seeing increased or enhanced snowfall potential there. I've got 4 to 9. What I mean by that is almost everyone in this area will have a great chance at 4 inches. Some of you will be in the 6 to 9 category, and that won't be quite as large of an area as you see there, but isolated places have a legitimate shot at 10 inches or maybe even a little bit more of snow as we saw in that most recent run. Likewise, I still think that we have a chance for the enhancement of snow in the Sisseton Hills. Travel to and from the cities will not really be terrible until we get here, but there will be the wet roads that will have the cold air moving in, and the timing on that then is basically as we go through the day on Wednesday. That cold air undercuts the system. So Wednesday will be the worst of the weather here in the valley. Tuesday night, overnight, and into Wednesday with the system kind of losing its snowfall intensity as we go throughout the day on Wednesday. So I think that that is a solid forecast, and I hope that that gets you updated. Let me see if there's any questions. And I did hear a question from Beach, North Dakota. Beach, North Dakota, it's raining out there because of the way this system kind of parks out and the low moves northward. It's going to remove you from the snowfall potential as we go into the day tomorrow. So if you're in Dickinson, if you're in Glen Ullin and New Salem, or even out near Hazen, notice Hazen and Beulah, these areas right here, you're right on the fringe of snow and rain. Not a lot of beneficial moisture for you. The better chance will be way out in the northwestern corner, not far from Crosby, not far from Kenmare, and look at Minot. You're right on the edge of that enhanced band of snow out near the Bottineau County area. So keep that in mind for places out to the east of the Minot area on Highway 2. So again, heaviest along Highway 2 and points north. There could be an enhanced band that sets up here in the Red River Valley, and that's my forecast, and I'm sticking to it. So let's talk a little bit about the 7-day planner. For your day on Tuesday, temperatures will be hovering near 40 degrees throughout. We hit 53 today in the Fargo area. We've got rain of 1 to 2 inches on the way. We got the winter storm not beginning until late, but it will begin and last throughout the day out to the west. National Weather Service has warnings in place for the Bottineau Hills area. It does include portions near Towner County as well as you go out to the east and west, rather. I'll show you the update on that too. So you have the very latest. Let's see, I do have that right here. Let me put that up. While I'm talking about it, this is the latest from the National Weather Service. We have a winter storm watch in the Devil's Lake Basin. Just double checking that the Weather Service still has not updated anybody in the valley yet. Because sometimes they do like to update that before the 10 o'clock hour for broadcasters, but essentially there's been no update to the watch. The watch area is the Devil's Lake Basin. I am gaining confidence with the model runs I'm seeing tonight that winter storm conditions will be possible there, and some of it may extend out to very near the Grand Forks area, but I think that the watch in western Walsh County makes a lot of sense, and the warning out there in the Bottineau Hills out to areas just off to the east of Minot on Highway 2. So you're talking about Bottineau all the way out into the Rolla area as well. The rest of us wind advisories, but we will see some snow and very cold temperatures and wintry travel conditions elsewhere. So keep in mind, it's going to be very slippery. There will be impacts in the Red River Valley. There's no watches, warnings, or advisories now, but the reason is we're not as confident that that band that takes place very late on Tuesday and into the day on Wednesday will set up shop like the models are showing that it should as we go into the time frame on Wednesday. So I do think that's a likelihood. That means the I-29 corridor, at least through the westernmost reaches here of Minnesota, will be impacted by some snowfall amounts. Okay, that is your update. Let me go ahead and say a big thank you to everyone out there. I want to go ahead and point out, too, that if you visit Hutch's Weather anytime, lots of good stuff going on there. And I just updated something for you there on a new tool set up by my good friend Joe. Thank you, Joe. Everybody say thanks to Joe. Check this out now. You can go to hutchesweather.com, and we're just making it more and more useful for you as we head into the winter season. Now, when Hutch sees something that I need to tap you on the shoulders about, I can get a hold of you through the email. So you can give me your email address, and it's only weather. I've only used it a handful of times in the months that we've had Hutch's Weather. But you can click on this graphic that I've created for you, and this is Hutch's snowfall forecast. So as I update it, it'll be available right here on the website for you. So keep that in mind. So you can click that now and let me know if you like that, and if there's any other questions that you have. The app, I do want to point out, you can use the interactive radar. This blue is rain. The lighter snowy blue is the snowfall scale. So you can see the key on the left-hand side of the radar here. And the left band is for the rainfall. And notice there's a crossover here of blues where we have light rain to heavy rain in yellow. But the blues kind of do get a little confusing. So if I could change those color tables, I would. But basically, that's snow out there in the big sky country of Montana, out there not far from, it looks like Circle, south of Fort Peck. That is in that general area. There's Circle there. Terry, not far. Glendive, you're in the rain showers now, but you'll see it before. Heavier rain and whatnot moving its way through South Dakota and the eastern part of the Dakotas right now. So hutchesweather.com with some new updates for you. You can always get my latest video updates on there as well. I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to upload your photos to the website right here. So if weather's happening for you, you can snapshot it, load it up there, and let me and all of us know right now. And this is where you can keep up to date with some other information. I'll be here throughout the event. Expect rain in Fargo most of the day, rain in Grand Forks most of the day. And that transition will hit the Devil's Lake Basin first and the Botno Hills first. And that's where the action is expected to be on Tuesday. Wednesday, stay tuned. I think we'll have some wintry weather Tuesday night into Wednesday here in the Valley and portions of western Minnesota. For now, I'm meteorologist Hutch Johnson. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thanks for all of your communication here tonight. Have a very quiet night. I hope you enjoyed those 50s, because we could wave goodbye to the 50s, and we're not talking about 60s. I think it's going to be much, much colder through the period. Here's a look at your 7-day planner as I leave you right here tonight. Here it is, a look at the 7-day planner. Here's our unsettled weather, falling temperatures throughout the afternoon hours on Wednesday. Here's my snowfall forecast for now. Again, I will keep you updated and adjusted on that. As we look through the planning forecast, we're going to have areas with upwards of 6 to 10 inches of snow. And if you're in that area that gets that snow amount, you can take these lows and put a minus sign in front of them over here. We'll see near zero readings for Friday morning and Saturday morning. Below zero readings will be a distinct possibility for the areas of deep snow. Are you ready? I think I'm ready. Have a wonderful night. I hope you're ready. Again, this is not really something to worry too much about. We've seen snow here before, but it is the first of the season. So I just want to make sure that you're aware it's time to be careful driving. If you don't like driving on icy, slippery roads, then as we go into Tuesday night and Wednesday here in the Southern Valley, it could get that way. So have adjustable travel plans. Make sure you have a survival kit in your vehicle. Make sure that you take a look at the road condition maps that I will be posting for you on the website and have available to you throughout the day. And keep it tuned to a trusted source for weather information, not hype, but just the facts right here on Hutch's Weather. For now, have a wonderful night. Thanks for joining me, and we'll talk again very soon. Hutch Johnson signing off for tonight. Check out hutchesweather.com anytime, anywhere.